Good morning to all of you. Myself Kishore, Faculty of Physics, Young Minds Physics Academy. Now onwards, we start the previous year question solving for session 2 conducted for JEE Mains examination in the year of 2025. Okay, the first shift question paper. This question paper, first we discuss about the questions asking from first year concepts. Okay, in this one first question, the equation for a real gas is given by P plus A by V square into V minus B is equal to RT, where P, V, T and R are the pressure, volume, temperature and gas constant respectively. The dimensions of A into B power minus 2 is equivalent to that of which physical quantity? Okay, this is asking. So how to solve this question we discuss now. Okay, to see what is given equation for a real gas. What is that? P plus A by V square into V minus B is equal to what? R into T. Okay, you know, according to principle of homogeneity, from principle of homogeneity, what it tells us? Okay, from principle of homogeneity, like physical quantities, that means same physical quantities, same kind of physical quantities, like physical quantities are allowed to added, subtracted and equated. Okay, therefore in the given equation P plus A by V square, what its meaning? It means that what kind of physical quantity represented by P? Same kind of physical quantity represented by A by V square. Therefore P plus, that means P is equal to what? A by V square. That implies A is equal to what? P into V square. Here P is equal to what? Pressure. V is equal to what? Volume. So pressure is equal to what? Force by area, isn't it? Into V is equal to volume. Volume is equal to what? Length into breadth into height. Okay, length, breadth, height, all are measured in terms of meter only. Okay, meter is unit of length. Length is represented by capital L according to dimension analysis. So it is nothing but what to say? L cube. Okay, volume square. That means what? L cube whole square. So which is equal to what? F. F is equal to what? ML T power minus 2 by A. Area is equal to L into what? L cube. Sorry, L power 6. 3 to the 6. Okay, so it may write L power, when it go to the minus, that means what? L power 5 T power minus 2. This is the dimension formula of A. Similarly, from same principle of homogeneity, like physical quantities are allowed to added as well as subtracted. That means what? V minus B. That means V is represented by same physical quantity B. That implies B is equal to what? L cube. Why? Because P is equal to volume. Already we get volume is equal to what? L cube. Therefore, required desired value, what is that? A into B power minus 2. A into B power minus 2 is equal to, A is equal to what? M L power 5 T power minus 2 into B. B is equal to what? L cube whole power minus 2. That implies M L power 5 T power minus 2 L power minus 6. That implies what? M, you get how much? L power 5 minus 6. That means M L power minus 1 T power minus 2. Actually, this is the physical quantity is nothing but what I say? Energy density. Energy density. That means energy per area, or energy per length, or energy per volume. This is nothing but what is energy density. Okay, that means what? Therefore, energy density is equal to energy per length. Energy per length. What is the dimension of energy? M L square T power minus 2 by length L. So we get M. Okay, or energy per volume, whatever may be. When it is like a three-dimensional, energy per volume. So it may be L cube. So L power minus 1 T power minus 2. So A into B power minus 2 is represent what? Energy density. Okay. right. Okay, the second question, match list 1 with list 2. What is list 1? List 1 comprising 4 physical quantities, list 2 comprising 4-dimensional formulas. Compare these two. Okay, which one is exactly coincidence with another one? Okay, right. First discuss coefficient of viscosity. Coefficient of viscosity. Okay, it is represented by eta, which is obtained from the definition of viscous force. So actually viscous force between two successive layers, okay, is directly proportional to cross-section area and directly proportional to what? Velocity gradient. So when you remove this proportionality, put a constant, that constant is equal to coefficient of viscosity. That implies coefficient of viscosity eta is equal to what? F by A into velocity gradient dV by dx. So it may write m L T power minus the dimension formula of force. Area is equal to what? L square. Velocity equal to L T power minus 1 by length is L. So L is cancelled. So we get m L power minus 1 T power minus 1. So m L power minus 1 T power, that means this is the correct option. So next B, intensity of wave. Okay, intensity of wave is nothing but power containing in unit area. That means the power containing the electromagnetic wave per unit area is nothing but its intensity. So power equal to what? Energy per time. Energy by time. Energy by time into area. So energy equal to what? M L square T power minus 2 by time. T into area equal to what? L square. So this L square is cancelled. M T power minus 3. That means M T power minus 3 means what? M L power 0 T power minus 3 is the intensity of wave. Next, third one, pressure gradient. Pressure gradient is nothing but difference in pressure per length. Difference in pressure per what? Length between two successive layers. So pressure equal to what? Force by area by length is equal to what? So F by area into length. So F is equal to what? M L T power minus 2 by area into what? L square into length, isn't it? So it may be comes rise to M, 1 L is cancelled, M L power minus 2 T power minus 2. This is the dimension formula of what? Pressure gradient. So pressure gradient equal to M L power minus 2 T power minus 2. So next, fourth option, what is the fourth one? Compressibility. Compressibility is nothing but reciprocal of bulk modulus. That implies compressibility is equal to what? Bulk modulus equal to what? Difference in pressure. That means change in pressure by change in volume. That means what? Bulk modulus by, that means volume stress by volume strain. Okay, which is equal to what? Actual minus. So 1 by delta P into V by delta V. Okay, so it means what? Minus delta V by delta P into V. So V is equal to what? Change in volume. What is that? L cube. What is that? L cube by pressure. Pressure is nothing but force per area. What is its value? M L power minus 1 M L power minus 1 T power minus 2. Okay, into volume equal to what? L cube. Okay, so we get L cube is cancelled. What is that? M power minus 1 L T square T plus 2 L square. Okay, so in the given option, M power minus 1 L T power minus. This is the correct matching of this question. Okay, right. Thank you. Right. The third question: a person traveling on a straight line. This is a straight line. Okay, a person is traveling on a straight line moves with a uniform velocity v1 for a distance x1. So this whole length of the path traveled by the person is separated into two parts. Okay, this part is equal to what? X distance. Okay, this distance covered with a velocity what? V1. Okay, with a uniform velocity V2. Next one. Okay, for the next 3x by 2 distance, that means this is x distance, this is equal to what? 3x by 2 distance, but this 3x by 2 distance covered with a velocity of uniform velocity V2. Okay, then what is asking? The average velocity of this entire motion is average velocity of this entire motion is something 50 by 7 meter per second. If V1 is equal to what? 5 meter per second. V1 is given. What is the 5 meter per second? Then V2 is equal to what? This is asking. So total length of the path D is divided into two parts. First part is length is x. Second part length is what? 3x by 2. So obviously this x distance covered in time t1. Okay. But time term is not involved in this question. So this time is converted into velocity and displacement manner. So what is velocity is equal to distance by time. Then time is equal to what? Displacement by what is that? Velocity v1. So this 3x by 2 also covered in time t2. So it is also equal to what? 3x by 2 distance covered with the velocity equal to what? V2. Suppose you calculate this value. So you know average velocity is equal to what? Total displacement means total distance traveled by the body. By total time taken. Here average velocity is given. What is that? The average velocity of this entire motion is 50 by 7. Therefore 50 by 7 is equal to total distance x plus 3x by 2. X plus 3x by 2 by total time taken t1 plus t2. T1 is equal to what? X by v1. T2 is equal to what? 3x by 2 into v2. Isn't it? So we get right 2x plus 3x by 2 by 2v1 v2. 2v1 v2 into what? 3x plus x. Isn't it? That means it is not correct. What is that? 2 v2x plus 3 v1x. So it may write like 2x plus 3x, 5x by 2, into 2 v1 v2 by when you take x becomes common. What is that? 2 v2 plus 3 v1. So this x is cancelled, this t is cancelled. What is the value? 5 into v1 v2 by 2 v2 plus 3 v1. Therefore 50 by 7 is equal to 5 into v1 is given. What is it? 5 into v2 by 2 v2 plus 3 into 5. So you want to calculate v2 value. 5 10 ja 50, 5 1 ja 5 2 ja. So that implies 2 by 7 is equal to what? v2 by 2v2 plus 15. That implies 7v2 is equal to what? 4v2 plus 30. That implies 3v2 is equal to what? 30. That implies v2 is equal to what? 10 meter per second. Okay, right. Okay, the fourth question. A river is flowing west to east direction with a speed of 9 km per hour. If a boat capable of moving at a maximum speed of 27 km per hour in still water cross the river in half a minute while moving with maximum speed at an angle of 150 degree to the direction of river flow, then the width of the river is. Suppose this is the river. Okay. A river is flowing from west to east. To know which direction. This is north, south, eastern, west. So in what direction the river is flowing? From west to east. That means this is the direction of okay, river flow. Okay, with what speed, velocity of river? How much? 9 kmph. 9 kmph. If a boat capable of moving at a maximum speed of 27, that means what? Velocity of boat equal to what? 27 kmph equal to what? 27 into 5 by 18 equal to what? 9 2 ja, 9 3 ja. 3 5 is a 15 by 2 meter per second. Okay, right. If a boat is capable of moving at a maximum of this much, in still water, cross the river in half a minute. So what is the time taken to cover this width of the river? 30 seconds. That means half minute what? 30 seconds. Okay, that means what? Suppose it is started here. The aim is what? The aim of the boat is what? To cross the river. In what time? 30 minutes. 30, half minute what? 30 seconds. Okay, okay, right. But it is starting, if half minute, while moving with maximum speed at an angle of 150 degree to the direction of river flow. This is the direction of river flow. So this is the direction of velocity of boat. Okay, which makes how much angle? 150 degree. How much? 150 degree. Then width of the river is, this is the width of the river. This is the width of the river. So actually when you draw from this diagram the width, that means this is exactly, width means what? Opposite bank, end. So this is obviously what? This is equal to what? 90 degree. So remaining equal to what? Obviously 60 degree, isn't it? Total is 150 degree. Okay, so now the width of the river is total distance is traveled. Okay, so width of the river is equal to the distance covered by the boat in given time with given speed. So width is nothing but distance. So therefore width is equal to what? Velocity into what? Time. Velocity time. So what is the velocity? Velocity is not exactly in this direction. It is making some angle. So when you resolve this boat velocity into two components, this is what? VB cos theta. Why? Because this is adjacent side of this angle. So this is what? VB sin theta. Isn't it? But we require only VB. Why? Because we are moving starting from this point and reaches this destination point. So that width is equal to what? Velocity of boat and its cos component into time. What is the time? 30 seconds. So what is the velocity of boat is given? 27 means what? 15 by 2. 15 by 2 into cos 30. Cos 60 means what? 1 by 2 into what? 30. Okay, alright. 2 1 ja, 2 15 ja, 2 1 ja into 2, 7.5. So 15 into 7.5 is nothing but you get 112.5 meter. This is the width of the river. I think we have understood this question. Okay, right. The fifth question: a squared lamina OABC, okay, of length 10 centimeter. Of length is what? 10 centimeter. Is pivoted at point O. That means it is fixed at point O. Forces acts at the lamina as shown in the figure. To see, at point A there are two forces, 10 Newton act along horizontal, along the vertical. Okay, at B also like that, at C also like that. Okay, if lamina remains stationary, what is given? This is the hint in this question. The lamina is at stationary, then the magnitude of force F is, okay, you know, the lamina is in what kind of equilibrium? Stationary means what? It is at equilibrium. That means what? That means if lamina is remains stationary. If lamina remains what? Stationary. Okay, that equal net force F bar is equal to what? 0. And net torque tau is also equal to what? 0. Okay, that means what? Therefore, the body in mechanical equilibrium. Therefore, the body is in mechanical equilibrium. Mechanical equilibrium. Therefore, net force is equal to what? 0. That implies what? That implies, okay, horizontal forces is equal to what? Vertical forces. Vertical forces. To see what are the horizontal forces that are acting on the body. 10 Newton acts towards the positive. F is active towards the negative. Therefore, 10 plus 10 minus F, because it is acting in negative x direction, is equal to verticals. 10 is active vertically upward. 10 plus 10. But this 10 Newton acting in downward means what? Minus 10. So minus 10 plus 10 is cancelled. Is equal to 20 minus F is equal to 10. That implies F is equal to 20 minus 10 equal to what? 10 Newton. So answer for this question is what? 10 Newton. Okay, right. The sixth question. Moment of inertia of rod of mass m and length L about an axis passing through its center. To see what is given. This is the rod. Its mass is m and length is what? L. Now it is rotate about an axis passing through its center. Okay, and perpendicular to its length. Passing through its center and perpendicular to its length is alpha. So the moment of inertia of a rod, about an axis, passing through its center, is I is equal to what? M into L square by 12. But here this moment of inertia of this rod passing through its center and perpendicular to its length is given as what? Alpha. This is an equation 1. Okay, now the rod is cut into two equal parts. Now what happened? Now this rod is cut into two equal parts. This is the first part and this is the second part. Okay, cut into two equal parts. And these parts are joined symmetrically to form a cross shape. These two parts are joined symmetrically like this way. These two parts are joined symmetrically like this way to form a cross. Okay, by this way you can see like this. Now what happened? Form a cross. Moment of inertia of cross about an axis passing through its center and normal to the plane. Now it is rotate like this. Now it is rotate like this. It is rotate like this. So now each part of mass is equal to what? M by 2. This is also M by 2. Length is also equal to what? L by 2. This is also equal to what? L by 2. Okay. Now you can say, now the moment of inertia, of this, okay, combination, now this pattern, now this shape, rod, now this shape means what? Cross. Rod is, okay, it is combination of two. Therefore, I is equal to, that means this is nothing but new moment of inertia. I dash is equal to what? M by 2 into L by 2 whole square by, what is that? 12. Okay, this kind of rods are, how many are there? 2. So into what? 2. Okay, right. Therefore, I dash is equal to M by 2 into L square by 4 into 1 by 12 into 2. So which is equal to what? M L square by 2 to 12 4 48. Okay, but he is asking according to options given, this inertia expressed in terms of alpha, initial value. So it may be right like this, m into L square by 4 into 12. But you know, ml square by 12 is equal to what? Alpha. So it's equal to what? Alpha by 4. So the new moment of inertia is equal to what? 1 by 4 times of initial moment of inertia. Okay? Right. This is the answer for this question. Right. Okay. The seventh question. A cord of mass of negligible mass is wound around the rim of a wheel supported by spokes with a negligible mass. Okay. Suppose this is a wheel. Okay. This wheel is fixed at its center. The mass of the wheel is given. What is that? Mass of the wheel. Mass of wheel. What is that? Capital M is equal to what? 10 kg. And this radius also given. Radius equal to what? 10 centimeter means what? 0.1 meter. Okay. And it can be freely rotate without any friction. Without any friction. Initially the wheel is at rest. That means initial angular velocity. Initial angular velocity. Okay, of wheel is omega naught, or simply say omega naught equal to what? 0. Okay, if a steady pull of 20 Newton is applied on the cord, so what happened? A cord of negligible mass is wound around the rim. Let us take a cord of negligible mass is wound along the rim. Okay, so this is the cord. Okay, out initially the wheel is at rest. If a steady pull of 20 Newton, what happened? A force of 20 Newton pulling force is applied on this on this cord. So what happened? Along when you pull this cord downward, the wheel start rotate. Initially its angular velocity is equal to what? Omega naught equal to 0. Okay, what is asking? The angular velocity of the wheel. So final angular velocity. Final angular velocity. Omega is equal to what? This is asking. Actually what happened? After the cord is unwound by 1 meter. That means what? When you rotate, that means when you pulling force is applied, the cord is unwound. What happened? Unwound. How much? 1 meter is not unwound. That means up to here only it is stopped. That means this length is not covered. So this is what radius of the wheel. It is equal to what? 0.1 meter. 0.1 meter. So when you apply a pulling force, the wheel start rotate. That means if torque is applied on it. So from torque tau is equal to what? Formula? Moment of inertia into its angular acceleration. But torque is equal to what? In what? R bar cross, that means RF. So RF is equal to what? I into alpha. Here R is equal to what? Radius of the wheel. Already given. What is that? 10 centimeter means what? 0.1 meter into F. What is the force acting on it? 20. Okay? Right. Is equal to I. Moment of inertia of the wheel. What is that? mr square into alpha. So which is equal to what? 2 is equal to what is the mass of the wheel? 10. Radius equal to what? R square means what? 0.1 whole square into alpha. That implies alpha is equal to what? 20 radians per second. But you required what? Omega is required. So you know the initial angular velocity, then find the final angular velocity, and you know the angular acceleration. Therefore, from dynamics of rotatory motion, what is that? V square, by using V square minus U square is equal to AS. You know, what is that? Omega square, final angular velocity minus initial angular velocity is equal to 2 into alpha into what? Angular displacement theta. That implies omega square is required, equal to what? Minus 0. Why? Because initial angular velocity equal to what? 0. So omega square minus 0 is equal to 2 into alpha is equal to what? 20. But you don't know the angular displacement. This is obtained for this sentence is used after the cord is unwound by 1 meter. So this is the unwound distance. So it is nothing but length of the arc. So from known formulas, when you join this end 1 meter is not owned. Okay, so it's obtained a triangle say called theta at the center of this circle, center of the wheel. So which is equal to what? Theta is equal to what? Theta is equal to what? X. That means length of the arc 1 meter by radius of the circle 0.1. So theta is equal to what? 10. So that you can replace theta by 10. Okay, that implies omega is equal to what? To 40 into 100. 10. 400. Omega square is equal to 400. Then omega is equal to what? 20 radians per second. So this is the answer for this question. Okay. Right, the 8th question. A particle is subjected to two simple harmonic motions. x1 is equal to something, x is equal to something, where x is displacement and t is time in seconds. The maximum acceleration of the particle is given something, then value of x is asking. Okay, to see a particle is subjected to two simple harmonic motions. Suppose this is a particle lies in a medium which is imposed by one simple harmonic motion, and another one is what? Imposed by another SHM. Okay, that means this particle is affected by two different simple harmonic motions. So the resultant may be also a simple harmonic motion. So what is the maximum acceleration of a particle? You know, in simple harmonic motion, we know one thing. What is that? The maximum acceleration. The maximum acceleration. The maximum acceleration. Okay, A is equal to what? Minus omega square into A. Okay, here omega is equal to what? Angular velocity. Angular velocity. And A is equal to what? Resultant amplitude. Resultant amplitude. So first you should calculate angular velocity and resultant amplitude. First I would like to select resultant amplitude. A resultant is equal to what? Actually these two simple harmonic motions are simultaneously imposed. Okay, the particle of a medium. So that resultant amplitude is equal to what? A1 square plus A2 square plus 2A1 A2 cos phi. Why? Because from parallelogram of vectors, resultant of two vectors is equal to what? Under root A1 equal to what? Compare this equation. X1 is equal to root 7 sine phi t. Compare it with what? A sine omega t. That implies A is equal to what? Root 7. And omega is equal to what? Phi. Similarly, x2 is equal to what? 2 root 7 sine 5t plus pi by 3. So A2 is equal to what? 2 root 7 and omega is equal to what? Phi. And angle displacement. Okay, that means phase difference between these two particles arrive the common point of the medium is nothing but what is a phase difference. Phi is equal to what? Pi by 3. Okay, substitute all the values in this one. A1 square. A1 is equal to what? Root 7. Square means what? 7. Plus A2 square means what? 4 into 7. 28. Plus 2 into A1 is equal to what? Root 7 into 2 root 7. A2 into cos 30. Cos pi by 3 means what? 60. It is nothing but 1 by 2. So 1 2 is cancelled. So root over 7 plus 28 plus root 7 into root 7 7. 2 4 ja 2 7 ja 14 equal to what? Which is equal to what? 28 40 49. Isn't it? Equal to what? 7. Okay, therefore required A, maximum acceleration of the particle. A is equal to what? Omega square into, simply say called mod A is equal to what? Omega. Omega is equal to what? How much you obtain? 5. Omega square means what? 5 square into 7. So 25 into 7 is equal to what? 175 centimeter per second square. Okay, but the answer is asking in meter per second square. So what is the meter per second square? 175 into 10 power minus 2 meter per second square. That implies x is equal to what? 175. That's it. Okay? Right. Okay, the ninth question. A steel wire of length 2 meter and Young's modulus something is stretched by a force. If Poisson's ratio and a transverse strain for the wire are 0.2 and 10 power minus 3 respectively, then the elastic potential energy density of the wire is. Okay, what is asking? Elastic potential energy. Elastic potential energy. Okay, density. Okay, E is equal to what formula? That formula we have in that formula is there. What is it? Half into stress into strain. Half into stress into strain. Okay, so this is the formula. If stress is directly given, there is no stress is given. Strain is also not given. So to find stress and strain, use the remaining information given in the question. What is that? A steel wire of length. Length of the wire. What is that? L is equal to what? 2 meter. And its Young's modulus is given. Young's modulus. Young's modulus. Young's modulus Y is equal to what? 2.0 into 10 power 11 Newton per meter square is given. Okay, is stretched by a force. If Poisson's ratio is given. Poisson's ratio sigma is equal to what? 0.2 and transverse strain that means what? Delta d by d, change in diameter by original diameter, is equal to what? 10 power minus 3 is given. Then the elastic potential energy. You know, from Poisson's ratio, sigma is equal to what? Lateral strain by longitudinal strain. This is the exact definition of Poisson's ratio, which is equal to what? Minus delta d by d by delta L by L. Here to see, transverse strain is nothing but lateral strain. So, from this one you should calculate longitudinal strain. That implies delta L by L is equal to what? Sigma delta d by d by Poisson's ratio sigma. So what is delta d by d? 10 power minus 3 by sigma is equal to what? 0.2 means what? 1 by 5. That means equal to what? 5 into, or otherwise it may write like this, 10 power minus 3 by 1 by 5 equal to what? 0.2. So which is equal to what? 5 into 10 power minus 3. 5 into 10 power minus 3. This is the longitudinal strain. Okay. Now stress is not given. So it may be write like this, half into, from Young's modulus, but Young's modulus is given. So from Young's modulus Y is equal to what? Stress by strain, longitudinal stress by longitudinal strain. So from this one you can write stress is equal to Young's modulus into strain. Therefore, the elastic potential energy is equal to what? Half into, in place of stress we write Young's modulus into strain. Okay, which is equal to what? Strain. So strain, Young's modulus into strain. So it may be write like this, half into Young's modulus already directly given. What is that? 2.0 into 10 power 11 into strain. What is the strain value? 5 into 10 power minus 3 into strain. Same value, 5 into 10 power minus 3. So this 2 is cancelled. 5 5s are 25 into 10 power 11 minus 6 equal what? 25 into 10 power 5. Okay, so in place of this dash you can fill as 25 is the answer for this question. Okay, right. The 10th question. A vessel with square cross section and height of 6 meter is vertically partitioned. A small window of 100 centimeter square with a hinged door is fitted at the depth of 3 meter in the partitioned wall. Okay, so which is, first you can show pictorially so it is easy to understand. So what is a vessel with a square cross section? A vessel with a square cross section. Okay, this is a vessel with a square cross section. Height of what? 6. The total height is equal to what? 6 meter. Vertically partitioned. A small window of 100 centimeter square with a hinged door is fitted at a depth of 3 meters. So, at a depth of 3 meter, the depth of what? 3 meter, a hinged door is supposed to be fitted. Okay, partition wall. One part of the vessel is completely filled with water. One part of the vessel is completely filled with water and other side is filled with a liquid having density what? To see this one. So this is the this portion is filled with water of density rho 1 is equal to 1.5 into 10 power 3. Remaining is filled with what? Water of density rho 2 is equal to what? 10 cube kg per meter cube. 10 cube kg per meter cube. So what force on one needs to apply on the hinged door so that it does not get opened? So what happened? This is the water applied pressure along this direction. This pressure is applied, this fluid is applied pressure along this direction. So that's why due to these two pressures acts normal in opposite direction, so the hinge door is not open. Okay, so to solve this problem we can use the hydraulic pressure concept. So from definition of force or pressure, hydraulic pressure acts on this hinged door, okay, due to different liquids are separated by a common door is what? Difference in pressure. Delta P is equal to what? F by A. Simple. Okay, so the required force F is equal to what? Delta P into A. Delta P into what? A. Here pressure is equal to what? Pressure, you know, pressure is depends on density of the liquid, okay, and height of the liquid column and gravity. Here delta P is equal to what? P1 minus P2. Pressure due to this fluid and pressure due to water into G into H into A. Here rho, actually pressure is equal to rho GH. So it's nothing but as a density of water, density of liquid minus density of water. So what happened? 1.5 into 10 power 3 minus 10 power 3. Why? Because density of water equal to 10 cube into G is equal to 10. Okay, at what height? These two are separated. 3 meter height from the one end into area of cross section of this partition, what is that? Vessel. Okay, what is that? 100 centimeter square. That means what? 100 means what? 10 power minus 4. 10 power minus 4 meter square. So which is equal to what? 1500 minus 1000. That means 500 into 30 into 10 power minus 4. So 3 zeros, 5 3s are 15. That means 150 Newton. So this is the answer for this question. The 11th question. In an adiabatic process, which of the following statement is true? Some statements are given. First, what you know about an adiabatic process? In an adiabatic process, what you know? There is no exchange of heat energy between system and its surroundings. That means what? Temperature remains what? What is that? dq is equal to what? Because there is no exchange of heat between system and surroundings. There is no heat enter into the system and there is no heat leaving the system. That means dq is equal to what? 0. Okay, so from the definition of first law of thermodynamics, from first law of thermodynamics, first law of thermodynamics, from first law of thermodynamics, what is that? dq is equal to what? du plus dw. That means what? dq is equal to 0 means what? du plus dw is equal to 0 is equal to du plus, that implies du is equal to what? Minus dw. This is the one. As well as heat capacity. What is the heat capacity? What is that? dq by dt is equal to what? M into S. Because from heat gained by a body, q is equal to what? M into S into T. So when you differentiate it, dq is equal to ms dt, then dt brought into this side, this dq by dt is equal to what? Ms. That means what? M into S. What is M into S? What? Heat capacity. What is that? Heat capacity. Here dq by dt is equal to what? Heat capacity. So heat capacity, that means what? Which is equal to what? M into S. But dq is equal to what? 0. So M into S is equal to what? 0. M into S is equal to what? 0. That means what? The molar heat capacity equal to what? Therefore molar heat capacity, what is that? M into S, or dq by dt equal to what? 0. So in adiabatic process, molar heat capacity equal to what? 0. Right. Okay, the 12th question. Gamma A is the specific heat ratio of monoatomic gas A. Okay. For monoatomic gas A. Okay, having 3 translation degree of freedom. Okay, for monoatomic gas A, you know, CV is equal to what? 3 by 2 RT. Isn't it? CV is equal to what? 3 degree of freedom. That means F by 2 RT. What is degree of freedom? The number of possible mode of vibrations, or the number of possible modes in which the molecule possesses energy. That is called degree of freedom. Okay, so in 3 dimensions. Okay, x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis for a monoatomic gas. So it's CV is equal to 3 by 2 RT. Then Cp is equal to what? 1 plus Cv equal to 1 plus 3 by 2 is equal to what? 5 by 2 RT. That implies Cp by Cv is equal to what? Gamma. Then gamma is equal to what? 5 by 2 into 2 by 3. That means what? 2 to cancel, 5 by 3. So for monoatomic gas, the specific heat ratio is equal to what? 5 by 3. Okay, right. Next, gamma B is the specific heat ratio of the polyatomic gas B. For polyatomic gas B. Okay. Similarly, it's CV, Cp, then you get gamma is equal to what? Cp by Cv is equal to, what is that? 9 by 7. Why? Because it is having 3 translational, that means 5 by 3. 3 rotational degree of freedom. Okay, that means 5 by 3 plus 1 vibrational. So 5 by 3 plus 5 by 3, okay, is nothing but total, you get 9 by 7. Therefore, gamma A by gamma B is equal to what? 5 by 3 by 9 by 7 means what? 7 by 9. 35 by 27. So what is given? But given gamma A by gamma B is equal to what? 1 plus 1 by n. That implies 35 by 27 is equal to what? 1 plus 1 by n. That implies 35 by 27 minus 1 is equal to what? 1 by n. It implies 35 minus 27 by 27 equal to what? 1 by n. So you get the value. What is that? 35 minus 1? 8. 8 by 27 is equal to what? 1 by n. That implies n is equal to what? 35 minus, yes. So n is equal to what? 27 by 8. 27 by 8 is the n value. Okay, right.